This yin class focuses on the lower back, and during this class we're going to both compress and stretch out the space and the tissues around the lower back, and we need both these movements to help keep the back healthy. We'll also move into the hips, creating a little bit more space and freedom, which will again have a really positive effect up through the spine. Hi beautiful yogis, and welcome to this yin yoga class focusing on the lower back. So during this class we're going to take a back bend, which is going to bring compression to the lower back space and stimulation. We'll also take a forward bend to kind of stretch out that lower back space. We're also going to move into the hips, because if the hips are tight it can have a kind of a knock-on effect up into the lower back. We will stretch out into more the sides of the lower back, an area that is often super tight because we don't often make side bend movements. And we'll be finishing with a little twist. So a whole lot of goodness for that lower back space. So listen for the softer options, and if you know that you have a particular movement that doesn't work for you, do listen to the body and either just take the softest option available or even just rest if that pose doesn't work for you. So we're going to start lying down. As always for these yin practices, you might want to have some blocks, bolsters, cushions, blankets, towels, whatever can make you relax your muscles even more. So with yin, we really want to focus on relaxing the muscles, and that allows us access to the connective tissue, to the fascia. That is what we're going to be focusing on, as always, in our yin practice. So come to find your way down to a constructive rest pose. So this is laying down on the back and with the knees bent. So if this doesn't feel comfortable, of course you can sit up on a chair, or you can stretch your legs out and have the legs supported by maybe a rolled up towel or a bolster. Maybe it feels better for you to turn your toes out or the toes in. You want the knees facing up to the sky. Any position with the hands and the arms. Maybe roll the shoulders down away from the ears. Just let the shoulder blades down the back. Just feel that you can come to rest here. So this constructive rest pose does soften through the pelvis, and it also should give you a nice amount of ease along the spine. There should be those beautiful natural curves in the lower back. So take a big breath in, big breath out, and just bring your attention down to the lower back space. And just feel, is there any tension or tightness that you can consciously release just by using the exhalation? If it brings you more connection to the lower back, you can have a little wiggle just to feel kind of what movements feel good or maybe not so good. And keep the attention on the lower back space. We'll take one more big breath here. For the belly puff up, for the lower back, receive the breath. A long breath out through the nose or the mouth. Wonderful. And then from here, you can just slowly release the hands. You can slowly just bring the feet to the edges of the mat. And slowly rock the knees, just very gently, a little bit from side to side. The knees don't need to go to the ground, just a little roll. Just nice to kind of massage around the kind of buttocks, the hips, bit of a nice release for the lower back space. And we're going to stay lying down. We're going to come to Bandhanasana pose. This is going to get into that, as I always say, that often neglected kind of side lower back space. So if those muscles are tight, there's a huge amount of pressure into the lower back. So this is a great pose just to bring a little bit more release to that area. So I'm going to move the body over to the left side of the mat in a long straight line between the heels, hips, and the head. And then keeping the front of your pelvis really, really level, really even. We're going to move the feet to the right. So right foot, left foot over to the right. Keep that nice level kind of space around the front of the pelvis. And push the elbows down, the head down, move the shoulders to the right, the upper body. So you're in this kind of curved, kind of crescent moon or banana shape. So just check that you can relax through the pelvis. You're going to be feeling a pull down the left side of the body, but also into the left lower back. Decide where you want your arms to be positioned. And just check your nose is facing up. Right ear towards the right shoulder. So take a big breath in and a big breath out. And just check here. If this is too strong on the lower back space, then just move the feet and the legs a bit more into the midline again, or you could do the same, move the upper body into the midline. Just ease off out of this pose if you need to. So do bring the attention again to the lower back. Can you feel the breath moving into that area? Can you bring more softness to the tissues, to the muscles, around that lower back space? Can you bring more softness to the mid-back and upper back and shoulders? Can you bring more softness to the space around the buttocks and the legs? And take one more breath here. And then And slowly just start to move the body out of that curved shape back into more of a straight line. Release the arms down at the shoulders. We're feeling a little kind of intense, and just releasing the arms just to give the shoulders a bit of a break. You can stay here really still, or you can bend up the knees. Again, with the feet wide, just rocking the knees from side to side can help to release that lower back space. And then from here, I'm going to stretch the legs straight out again. Take the body to the right side of the mat, nice long straight line. Keep the hips where they are, move the feet to the left. Keep that straight line through the front of the pelvis. Press down with the elbows, the head, slide the shoulder blades and the shoulders, the upper body into that curved shape. Left ear towards the left shoulder, but the nose stays facing up. And decide if you want to have the arms up above the head. Just check in with the shoulders, check that they're okay. Adjust so that you feel that pull into the lower back, a little bit more to the side. Big breath in. Big breath out. So again, if this is too strong and you're really kind of struggling to stay here, just ease out of a little bit, whether it's the lower body that eases out or the upper body or a bit of both. Keep softening through the mid-back, upper back and shoulders. Using the exhale just to really dissolve any tension. Also take the awareness down to the buttocks and the legs and just check that that space is also relaxed and soft. So just taking a last breath here. We can return again to that long straight line in the mat, slowly moving the feet, the legs, the upper body, whatever part of the body you want to move first. Release the arms down again, just resting the shoulders. And whether you're staying still for a few moments or finding that more active release by bending up the knees or rocking the knees from side to side with the feet nice and wide. But you can also pull the knees into the chest if that feels good, stretching out that lower back space. Sometimes even this is just so nice for the lower back. It's depending on your body. So I'm going to place the feet back on the ground. If you're pregnant, you can roll to the left. If you're not pregnant, you can roll to the right. We'll take a moment here. Maybe just blink the eyes open if they're closed. Look down to the ground as you push the hands into the mat. Just lift the body up slowly. Stay looking down. And then from here, we're going to find our way onto the belly. So I'm going to come up to hands and knees. And we're going to make our way down into Sphinx pose. So you can have all your support, again, close by. Move the knees back, the toes point back. I'm going to come to rest on the belly. And maybe your Sphinx pose is just with the arms in front of the body or even alongside the body and with the head touching down to the mat or to the hands. That might be your Sphinx pose. Alternatively, you can lift up, place your elbows on the mat, either more forwards or a little more back. Not too far back though, because it's too strong on the shoulders. You can also have your support maybe even under the forearms to make it a little stronger. Or if seal pose is good for you, then the hands are on the mat and the elbows lift off the mat. So just feel what's good, but just check into the lower back. It doesn't matter what shape you're in. Roll the hips, shake the body just to relax any tension. Take a big breath in and a deep breath out, letting go again, just melting away any tension or tightness. And maybe that means as well that the chest kind of sinks down, the shoulders slide up a bit, maybe the head droops. You can keep the head lifted. Just find your Sphinx. And check that the lower back is happy with the shape that you're in. And here we're bringing a lot of compression to the lower back space. So the discs between the spinal bones, they need movement. So they need to be compressed, needs to be space. Moving in all these directions helps to keep those discs nice and healthy, nice and lubricated. If we're stagnant or in the same position or constantly, maybe posturally, we are in the same position, then the body doesn't like it, the spine and especially the lower back. And whether it's a flow class, a vinyasa, moving the spine, so getting those discs nicely lubricated, whether it's a yin pose. With yin, we bring a little more energy as well to the specific places that we are focusing on. So in this case, the lower back. And when the energy is stagnant or it doesn't flow or move, then that can cause upset, issues in the body. By coming through these shapes, these poses, we help to bring more energy flow. Getting the energy flowing, keeping the body healthy and happy. We'll take a few more moments here, a few more breaths. Feeling the breath move all the way down to the lower belly, the lower back. One last breath. Beautiful. And then slowly start to come off your support, move the elbows forwards, the hands forwards. You might want to come and rest onto the hands, with the face on the mat. Again, you can be really still here, or you could have a wiggle of the heels and the hips. You can even bend the knees up, keep the knees wide, and just shake the legs. A few big breaths into the lower back space. And then from here, plant the hands underneath. If the shoulders tuck the toes, we'll make our way up to hands and knees. Here again, as you move the knees forwards, you can swing the hips to release the lower back. And we're coming to toe stretch. So maybe you're staying on hands and knees, or even with the elbows resting on the ground or on support. We're tucking the toes. Maybe the knees are wider or closer, feet wider or closer. If you want, you can come up to find this kneeling position. Or you can come to rest the sit bones back onto the heels. Tuck the toes under. Again, maybe just a slight adjustment of the feet or the knees will help those toes stay tucked. And if you really want to make it exciting, then lean back a little more. Otherwise, a softer approach is just by leaning forwards. So a beautiful toe stretch. We're really opening up into the soles of the feet. So as you may have heard me say before, we have this big band of connective tissue that runs from the soles of the feet up the backs of the legs, all the way up the back of the neck, over the head, and ends up on the forehead. And if this connective tissue, this big band of connective tissue, is tight in any place, that tightness can be transferred either up or down. So even the soles of the feet, if they are really tight, they're tight, they start to pull on the legs, and it can also then affect into the lower back space. So really, really, really important to keep the soles of the feet, the toes, really nice and mobile. And of course, also for other things like balance. If you need to release, you can kind of lift up or come forwards onto the hands again. Make sure that you're relaxing the neck and the face, the shoulders. And take 3 more really big breaths here. So big breath in through the nose, maybe a big sigh out through the mouth. Shake out the jaw. 2 more big breaths. Great, and from here we'll just start to launch forwards. Bring the hands to the mat, untuck the toes, maybe tap them softly or quite vigorously. And then we're going to tuck the toes again, have the feet about hip width apart, knees as well. Walk the hands back. We're going to move to dangling pose. This is really going to stretch out into the lower back space as well. So have the feet, like I said, about hip width, maybe a bit wider. Just launch on up, have the knees bent, and just rest your elbows on the thighs just to start with. So this is a place that you can stay, especially if maybe a forward bend, if that really kind of aggravates the lower back space, then just stay here with that more kind of longer neutral spine. It can be lifted or bowed down. This will also give you more steadiness if you're a little unsteady. Otherwise, you can keep the knees bent. You can allow the upper body to roll forwards and down, head heavy. You can also straighten out the legs, position the hands where it feels good. So find your dangling pose. Maybe have a little shake to release the tension, and then big breath in, big breath out. So know that you can always come back one step, adjust. I'm trying to find, though, a place where you can be still. So this is a beautiful way to really lengthen out that lower back space. Compression's good, but, on-off compression or compression in a yin pose. But if we're always in the same position, whether it's sat down or, like I said, posturally, where maybe not in such a good shape, then if we're always kind of stuck like that, then it's not good. We need all these different ranges of motion, of movement, just to help keep that lower back space really, really happy. Make sure the head is heavy. And take one more breath here. And then just bend the knees, bring your hands to the ground and look towards the floor, towards the mat. Keep the knees bent. You might want to, from here, just rest the elbows back onto the thighs, stretch out the back. If you want to stand up, you can. Shake out a little bit. And then from here, we're coming straight into a squat pose. So bend the knees enough so that your hands can come to the floor, and turn the toes out and place the feet on the edges of the mat. Now, I will show you an alternative if this doesn't work for you. I'll show you in just a moment. But if you're joining me for squat pose, we're starting to sink the hips down, the sit bones down. Now make sure that the toes are facing the same direction as the knees. If the heels pop up, then grab your blocks or a rolled up towel and place it underneath of the heels. You can have the hands on the ground. You can also sit on support. Sitting on support can make quite a difference to how you experience this pose. Maybe you can find more ease and softness. So this is a great way to kind of get into the hips, get into the hip space, which is also going to release the back. So find your squat, however that may be, whatever props you may find necessary. And if this isn't an option for you, then you're going to be coming into butterfly pose. So sit bones on the ground, soles of the feet together, a little distance from the sit bones. And again, you could have a straighter back, or you can round through the spine. So just feel what's good. You can hang the head. You may find that your shoulders can pull down a little more, round. It could be if you lean back or forwards. Maybe one of those motions, one of those movements helps you to feel a little bit more pull into the lower back. So that you can direct the breath lower down into the back. We're taking 3 more breaths here. So big breath in through the nose. Long exhale. 2 more big breaths like that. And then slowly with your next inhale, just start to lift the head. And from here, you can either just gently ease your way back, remove any support. Just gently back, resting sit bones down, stretching the legs out. Or alternatively, you could launch forwards, turn the toes forwards, knees forwards, and maybe stretch out a little bit in that dangling pose again, or have a little shake. Whatever feels good, but we are going to be making our way back down onto the mat. So whenever you're ready, just come to join me and have your props to the right side. We're going to take a lying down twist. So resting down, just feeling for a moment how this is. Knees bent just to soften the back. Again, you can always hug the knees in or rock around if it feels good. And then from here, we're going to take a double leg twist. So just push the feet into the mat, slide the hips to the left, bring the knees in line with the hips, and take the knees over to the side. Now, if you're pregnant, you're not going to be taking this twist. So you could just stay up or even in a reclining butterfly pose with support under the legs. Otherwise, knees are about in line with the hips. And from here, you can press the elbows down, roll the shoulder blades onto the ground. Maybe even look over towards the left. Arms can be wherever it feels good. And just check, maybe it's better for you if your knees are a little lower or a little higher. So just feel what's good and use more support if this is too strong. Again, just settling the body. Finding more ease and softness with each exhalation. Do make sure that your body is okay in the shape that you're in. You can always, again, just ease out, bring more support under the legs if that feels better. Twists can be quite strong on the spine and the lower back, so just make it as soft and as comfortable as possible. Let's take one more breath here. Facing the nose back up to the sky, releasing the arms, the shoulders, and rolling it onto the back body. Just move slowly, move with awareness. Again, you could stay here with the feet wide. You could roll the knees a little from side to side. And then take your support to the other side. And take the hips and move them slightly to the right. Knees up in line with the hip. And just with an exhale, release the legs over to the left. Place the arms wherever it feels good, maybe turning the face to the right. Big breath in. Long breath out. Softening and soothing. Keep the breath flowing. Keep the mind focused on the breath. I'm going to take one more breath. And slowly just rolling out of the twist. Back of the head meets the mat again. The feet again meet the mat. Release the arms. Slowly making your way to lay on the back body. And again, you can be still or separate the feet. Take that rocking, rolling motion with the legs. Maybe last pull in with the knees to the chest. And then we're going to take Shavasana. So we can stretch the legs out, remove any support, or even place some support underneath of the knees just to make this a little bit more soft on the body. Position the shoulders, the arms. Check in a little bit, maybe again that wiggle just to relax the body. Big breath in and big breath out. So slowly again, just starting to deepen the breath. And slowly starting to move the physical body, hands and feet, wrists and ankles, the shoulders, the hips, arms and the legs. And if you want a big stretch, reach the hands up above the head, take a big breath in. Exhale to bring the feet to the mat, the hands alongside the hips, maybe even pulling the knees into the chest once more. If you're pregnant, you can roll to the left. If you're not pregnant, you can roll to the right. One breath. And slowly starting to lift up, coming to find a seated position. You can sit up on any support that you may need. Rest the hands where it feels good. Just feel it into the body. And with your next breath, let's reach the hands out and up. Bring the hands up above the head, maybe gazing up too. Exhale to bring the hands down to the heart. Big breath in lifts the heart. And exhale as you bow your head down, honoring your heart, its truth, its wisdom. Releasing the hands back down to the legs, slowly lifting the head and blinking the eyes open. And namaste. So thank you so much for joining me for this practice, yogis. I hope that really helps to find a little more ease in your lower back. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for watching the YouTube channel of Anita Smith Yoga. AnitaSmithYoga.com is your online guide to yoga and wellness, with practices that are safe, accessible and informative, and are filmed in beautiful New Zealand. On the website you will find the practice you need. We offer various styles of yoga, qigong, meditation and more. Or choose a focus, for example, a class to strengthen your back, or a class to help you rest and restore, or maybe a class to help boost your energy. Classes range from 2 minutes to over an hour. We also guide you through your yoga journey with weekly class suggestions, monthly themes, and wellness programs. Head over to AnitaSmithYoga.com and start your free trial. When you sign up, you get immediate unlimited access to our library of advert-free videos. So go on and join our community of yogis from around the world. Go to AnitaSmithYoga.com and start your free trial now.